Right, welcome to another episode of Inside the Mind of a Young Entrepreneur. Today it's Wednesday, it's the 26th of November, and today I've just been writing this VSL for my client and soaking in a lot of tactics, like direct response tactics, just to get my flows going again. So, reading some Gary Halbert letters, watching some training videos from Dan Kennedy. Um, Also, like learn a bunch of things from Craig Clemens, and really getting an overview of how this VSL is going to go, because this is a bit of a odd VSL. Like, what we are basically doing here is that this is a VSL on a Skool page, and that's why we don't want to make it too long. And people can already see the price, that it's free. And how do we make this come off as the best thing? Because this is a bit of a more colden audience, because we are running ads to this, and people probably don't know who my client is. So basically, what I found out is that I wanted to start this off with a story, and then go directly into what this community is about. So let me just show you guys for quick. It's in Danish, so just bear with it. So basically, we're going straight into the story, and here I'm taking inspiration from Craig Clemens. So you can see here his story, like, it's so drawing.
I'm in a town called Odessa in the Ukraine. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm in the back seat of a car. I reach up to touch my face. I look down, and there's blood beginning to drip down my hand. My right eye is swollen completely shut. My left eye is bloody and throbbing. Sitting on the right side of me in the back seat of the car is the guy who threw the first punch. Sitting on my left side is the guy who continued punching me, while the person in the shotgun seat and the driver's seat were pinning me down to the asphalt and kicking me. I'm in the back seat of this car. There's nowhere I can go. And the car starts driving. And for the first time in my life, I had this just feeling of utter despair. And I remember putting my head down, just thinking, I'm completely fucked.
You guys get the point. So basically, what we're doing here is that he has a story of him. He was like asking people around his neighborhood for money. So basically, setting the scene, like he's checking his phone. The time is 9:07 a.m. and it's January, and the air outside is just bitterly cold. And making people just realize this scene, and creating rapport with this guy from the get-go. And we're starting in this scene to hook people in, and the story, like going in depth with the story, and having a deep story, I think that will create a lot of trust, especially for this community. So basically, what we're doing here, we're just setting the scene beforehand, like how his lives were before, and then we make fast forward where he has everything that he wants, and then we say there's two major reasons why this happened. And one is that he reprogrammed his subconscious mind to achieve massive success, and he had the right people like along him, uh, around him. So basically, we go into this, like what you'll learn is how to reprogram your subconscious mind. But the reason why we have a community is that you need to be around the right people. And then we'll talk into these pains of being around the wrong people. Like, you probably felt like whenever you have an idea, it almost immediately gets shut down. Like, we're making this so specific and relatable, and twisting that knife. And then we're going in depth that's why I created this community. And then we want to, like, these are all bits that starts to unfold, like, because in the beginning I thought maybe I should do like a proclamation lead, like something that is happening but they don't know about. But I thought that would not be it because we are not creating that much trust. We want to have trust in him because he's going to be the leader of this group. So that's why we want to start off with a story. And then again, we want to have the right people so we can use the leads that come into this group. So that's why we want to repel the wrong people, and that will also like raise the barrier of who, like, more people who actually want this thing, they would start to give in on this because we have repelled the wrong people. That also magnifies the right people. And then this thing, I want to have a lot of trial clauses, like making people think to themselves and creating this scene and then asking them questions so they come to the answers themselves. So they sell themselves. I want to see how many of these things I can implement. And then we're going to go over like the frameworks and what they're going to get out of being in this. Like there's a bunch of modules in this Skool community, and we're going on like there is the like morning routine of the successful people. So for every module and everything, every bullet, I will do some kind of social proof. Like this was the exact same morning routine X name used to achieve Y. So we have a ton of proof in this as well. And then at the end, we want to create somewhat of a close, like how much would this be worth to you? And if all this did was X, or at least if all statements. So normally I would set this at a X price, but now you're going to get it for free. So we make a killer offer here, and then we round it off. And I think the estimate should probably be around 8 minutes, and we want to continue also this story throughout the whole thing, like relating everything back to him. Like these are the things that I use and the things that I wish I had and all that stuff. So I think this is going to be a killer VSL. And again, it's been a minute since I wrote a real VSL. So I just have to get the fluids going and like knock off some of that rust. But I really love this approach about starting the VSL off with a story where you're like hooking the people in and they don't know what's going on. Like I'm looking on my phone, it's 9:07 a.m. People don't know what's going on. It's January 26th and the air outside is bitterly cold. Like what is like for every sentence we're just really revealing something. And this is also why you see these great movies. If in a movie they told you everything like directly to you, it wouldn't have the same feeling. But by you reading between the lines and everything happens indirectly, that is where the most fascinating things happen, and that's where it really becomes a compelling story and creates curiosity. So we have a lot of ton of good things. We also have this duality of he was here like begging people for money, and now he's at this life. And then we have this big idea. It's because I learned these two things, and that was to reprogram my subconscious and then surround myself with the right people. So I'm really excited for this VSL, and I can almost guarantee that this will print. The thing is, though, it's selling people into a free community, so we just have to do a ton of upsells, and maybe like at one time try to charge people, because I think this could really be something. So really looking forward to see the results of this thing right here. And another thing that really fascinated me and got me really into this thinking of big ideas again is the Gary Halbert letter here. Like Craig Clemens was talking about his favorite headline, and that was like this headline right here. Wife of a famous movie star swears on her oath that her new perfume does not contain illegal sex stimulant. Like, there's so many levers here to pull on, and the more like I can model and see how can I put this into my VSLs as well and play on all these emotions. Like we have curiosity, a famous movie star, a wife of famous movie star. Who's the movie star? We already have credibility. Like, it's a big person. Swear on her oath, like there's something on the line here, and that her new perfume does not contain illegal sexual stimulant. Like, does it then contain a like a legal sexual stimulant, like something that is legal? And there's so much curiosity, and there's so much provocative things, like people that just draws people in, and these subtle small lines that does the major difference. And Gary Halbert also says here at the bottom, like, walking on the beach and coming up with one good idea, if you can implement it, it's worth more than a lifetime of hard work. So that is just why this is so important. So I feel like this is going to be a really good VSL, and I really love the story behind this, and drawing people in with a story. And I think that's the perfect lead for this, like the intro for this VSL, instead of starting off with a proclamation lead, or directly going into the offer. Because so many just talk about, I have a mindset group, you can learn this and that. But when you start off with a story, you create rapport, and you relate, and you have empathy to the character. And that is essentially what we want to have. And it creates also mysticism. Like, this fast forward 7 years, people didn't know what happens in these 7 years, but we are going to teach them in this community. And then after we've gone in depth with why these things are so important, these two things will really twist that knife, and then we will go in depth with what they're going to get, and then do a bunch of closes, like, what would this mean to you if all this did, would you have X, and all that stuff, really pushing people and making them take a decision. And it's free, and I think that is it for this VSL. As I said, like, it only should be 8 minutes. So that being said, I think that was it for this video. Just wanted to run over with you guys with this, because I think it's so exciting. So take care, peace, bye.